The main thing is probably getting tracks finished.
When, for example, when did that song first saw light? Because there are so many people that cooperated with that song.
When did it first what?
When did it first happen?
Yeah, from when did it first happen?
That was probably, well actually the backing track has been around for ages.
Yeah,
and
I've seen it for ages, like maybe
about 3 years, 3 years, 3 years probably or something. And yeah, it was an idea that was around, and it was just kind of, I think it might have been on the album before. It was like a bit, we gave some ideas to the record company, and no one showed any interest in it, but it still kind of sounded good. And then I think sometimes that happens with the track, with time. You can play something to someone, and a year later they go, that's really cool, and you go, well, you heard that last year and you weren't interested. But it's kind of, that's the way patterns go and fashions. And
yeah, did it change a lot in that year that people first didn't like it and then at the end they do like it?
Well, I mean, during the album we did so many different versions of the song. By the end we were getting confused as to which was the right version, and the only way you could tell was to objectify it, was to play it to other people. And then actually, yeah. And then we ended up having 2 different main versions, and at the end we had to go for A or B. But I mean, that's a creative process. You just have to decide at some point, say, well, we're going to go for that, because there's many different solutions to a problem sometimes. And
but on this album, it seems like we had lots of options, more options than before. Somehow, we kept on. Well, we probably kept on doing different versions of songs. I mean, Feeling's Gone, there's 2 versions of that. There's the original version, which is more mellow, more acoustic feeling, and then there's one that is actually on the album, which is like a sort of a more housey remix.
But now the original version, called the alternative version, that's what we've named it now, that's being played on the radio in England now, and that's not the one on the album, but actually some people really like that version. So it's kind of, I mean, I suppose nowadays you can make stuff available, people can download it and
we're putting
change
like
formats.
There's sort of 3 or 4 versions of that. So we're making all the versions available. But yeah, we definitely kind of, yeah, we're finding it hard to know what version to go with and what was the definitive version. So,
but we always have done that a fair amount.
They're all going to be available anyway. So.
Yeah, isn't it difficult when you're in the studio, when you're working together on a song, to say, this is it and we don't work it anymore, because maybe it can drive you mad if you start.
You can go very mad, yeah, you can go on and on and on. But it's like if you're doing a painting, I suppose you can just keep on adding bits and adding bits. Sometimes you just have to leave the room and realise that's the point to stop, which is hard to do, but it's always about, well, what we generally do is just stop working on something, leave it and listen to it 2 days later. That's the only way you can kind of get distance. Or hear it in a completely different environment.
Yeah, in what kind of environment? Just in your room?
In your car, or in the kitchen, DJing in a club, you hear things differently. Other people hear it, it sounds different on a different sound system, but away from the studio environment.